everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are watching me from any part of the world. My name is Seun Akinloton, and I am your host for the Power Woman series. I am the founder of On Point Success. On Point Success is a branding, digital marketing, and web development agency that is based in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Thank you so much for joining us today. And if you're watching me, if you can see me right now, please leave me your name and where you're watching from. Tell me your location. I want to know where you're watching from, and tell me, how are you doing? How's everybody doing? I'm going to introduce our guest shortly, but I want to meet you all in the comment box. Pastor Vera, thank you so much. I see you. Yes, Pastor Vera says she's excited. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining in. Bukola Amushon Olale, thank you so much for joining in. Can you go ahead and share this video? Pastor Vera said she shared already. Thank you. Share this video if you're just joining in. Pastor Vera is joining us from Charlotte, North Carolina. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you, everyone. Thank you. I'm so excited to have you all on board. Hi, Elizabeth Adedokun, tuning in from Minnesota. Yes, you're doing great. Thank you. Yes, everyone is excited for today's speaker. Yes, our speaker for today is Dr. Temi Aregbesola. She holds a doctorate degree in public health, and she is also the founder of Dr. Temi LLC and Ireti Foundation. Ireti Foundation is a non-profit that she founded, and she focuses on underserved areas in Nigeria. She's also the curator of the Omugwo box. So she's going to tell us about that. She's ready. And are you ready? Yes, thank you for sharing. Are you ready? Is everyone ready? Thank you. I see you all. We have Jessica Vich from Seattle. Wow, that's great. Thank you for joining us today. So we're going to bring on Dr. Temi right about now. Dr. Temi, are you here?
I am. Hello. Good afternoon.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today. Welcome to the Power Woman series. Thank you for having from me. Seattle, from Lagos, Nigeria, from Charlotte, North Carolina, from Minnesota. So basically we have everyone from everywhere.
I love it.
Yes. Thank you so much for coming to the Power Woman series, and we are looking forward to hearing your story. Now, before we get started, I always like to ask my guests this question. Who is Dr. Temi? What do you stand for? What are your values? Can you please tell us a little bit more about you?
Yes, sure. I am Dr. Temi Aregbesola-Okere. As if my last name wasn't long enough, I now have to hyphenate it. I am the founder of Dr. Temi LLC, which houses the omugwo box, which you can see the beautiful arrangement behind me. Also houses the Live Your Best Life Mama online course for moms. Also the Ireti Foundation, which Michelle just talked about. And also a podcast called The University of Real Life with Dr. Temi, where I talk about just about everything under the sun when it comes to life. And so who is Dr. Temi? Temi is, I like to call myself a wife, mom, boss, period. I am a woman of faith. I'm a wife to a wonderful husband, and I'm a mom to 2 little boys. Everybody pray for me, pray for me. And I'm just a lover of people, a lover of the human spirit, and pretty much try to make sure that everything I do, I'm helping people to be the best and better versions of themselves. So that is Dr. Temi in a nutshell.
Wow. Thank you for that introduction. Dr. Temi is a bundle. She's like, you have all the packages made up. You are made up of all these packages, and you're just like a bundle. Yes, thank you for that introduction. So you were born and raised in Brooklyn by Nigerian parents.
Yes.
And emphasis, Nigerian parents. Mm-hmm. So we all know what that means.
Exactly.
So how was life like growing up And what values did your parents teach you that helped to shape you to becoming the woman that you are today?
Oh boy, living in Brooklyn,
Yes.
being raised by Nigerian parents, no joke. Anybody that's in my age group knows this. But the three things that my parents instilled in me are discipline and self-esteem. And I grew up going to church every Friday and every Sunday. Friday was prayer meeting on Friday, Sunday, go to church on Sunday. God forbid there's any programs in between where there's something during the week or a party or something on Saturday. But my parents engulfed, they entrenched me in my culture, and they made sure that everything that I did was based in faith, and they gave me everything that I needed to be self-sufficient. My dad one time told me that I'm the first of five. So I'm the first of, so it's four girls, and then the baby is a boy. And he told me, you have to do everything in your power to be successful, because you need to have everything it is that you need so that you never have to depend on any man. Not that they didn't want me to be married or want me to have a family, but it's just that I think him being a man, he understands that it's very easy to end up in a situation where there's somebody who doesn't have anything to bring to the table and don't really have anything for themselves. So he instilled that in all of us. I'm a doctor's degree holder. The sister after me is a lawyer. The one after her is a fashion designer and has a master's in fashion merchandising. The baby girl is an entrepreneur herself. She does hair. She has a clothing line. And our brother is following right in our footsteps in, trying to develop new things when it comes to risk management, because that's what he works in. So it's been instilled in all of us. We don't have an option to be mediocre. Being mediocre and mediocre.
Not an option.
Nope. It's never been in our vocabulary, never been in the way we operate. So it's just, there's always been this inert feeling of always wanting to do more and to be better.
Wow. So you said you're the first child out of 5 children. Did I hear that correctly?
Yes, you heard. Yes.
So did you feel any type of pressure growing up, because your parents want you to do well and your younger ones are following your footsteps, all that type of discussion? Any type of pressure? And if yes, how were you able to deal with those pressures?
Oh man, of course there's pressure. First of all, being a child being raised by Nigerian parents, that's pressure already. Like, I would be afraid to bring, when I would get B's, if I get like 80 or an 85 on something, I'll now be thinking, like, crafting up the story that I'm going to come and tell as to why I got that 85 and didn't get 90 or 100. They'll come in, if I bring it, then I'll say, do they have two heads? that they got this grade and you got this grade. So there's always that pressure to be good and to be a good example for my siblings. So, but it was a positive pressure because I feel like I had a lot of support to be able to do it. If I said I wanted to do something in music, like, I did everything. My mom had signed me up for ballet at a certain point. I took piano lessons when I was about in the 5th grade, like voice. I would sing and play the piano at the same time. Please don't ask. I can't read any notes anyway.
You forgot all about it.
Oh yeah, but I loved it because it opened up my mind to experience a lot of different things and understand the world a little differently. Like, when you have to go to ballet, you learn the history of ballet and ballet dancers. When you are taking music classes, if you have a great teacher, they're going to teach you the basics and they're going to teach you all of the underlying things there. So just the support was paramount, whether it came from my parents, whether it came from my aunts and uncles. We have a huge family, so nobody was shy about anything. Like, if it was, Temi needs to take this exam. My late uncle, rest his soul, he was my mom's baby brother, and he would be the one to sit with me to practice. I would go to my uncle's place every Friday. Meanwhile, every Friday when people are playing, having fun, staying late outside, and drove. Like, my mom would drive me over, drop me off, and say, "Okay, I'm going out." And I'm like, "When are you coming back?" And she would say, that's not your problem. That's none of your business. Go and study. And so there was that support system. So although the pressure was there, it wasn't to the point where I felt that, oh my gosh, like if I don't do this and I don't do it this way, I'm going to be in trouble, or I'm going to be a failure. I always had the support. And so they were, we didn't keep any secrets. My success was the whole family's success.
Absolutely.
Was my family's failure. Like they would hide, they would discipline me and say, hey, give me a good hard talking to, and something to uplift, to say, okay, this is the next step. This is what we're going to do to get better. So there's always been a great support system.
Great support system. Absolutely. Yes. I love that. And I love what you said about Nigerian parents. They would always ask you, the people that made it, do they have 2 heads? And you go like, yeah, everybody has 2 heads. So if they can do it, you can also do it. I love that. Yes, so if you are just joining us, my name is Seun Akinloto, and this is the Power Woman series. With me today is Dr. Temi Aregbesola-Okere, and we're discussing about a childhood life story. Just stay tuned, and if you have not shared this video, please do share. So Dr. Temi, I understand that you started volunteering in hospitals at the age of 15. Please, can you tell us what that experience was like? Did anyone force you to do that? What led you to volunteering at the hospital? Did you want to become a medical doctor, or, just tell us about that life?
Yes. So, again, growing up, everybody was sure that Temi was always going to be, at some point, Dr. Temi was always going to be a thing. Whether it was going to be medical or another way, Dr. Temi was always going to come into existence. And so, about when I was a sophomore in high school, I said to myself that I knew that I wanted to pursue medicine as a career. And so, I just said, let me find somewhere to volunteer. And of course, I always wanted to do it. So I signed up to be a volunteer at Coney Island Hospital in Brooklyn. And so around that time, we're looking at 97, 98, and everything. And it's very odd that right now, the same types of things that were going on now were going on then. I actually had the opportunity to be in the hospital doing my volunteer work around the time that Abu Luima, I believe that's his name, the Haitian immigrant who had experienced, he was actually sodomized by police officers, and he was actually stationed at Coney Island Hospital. I saw Al Sharpton, I saw the news outlets, I saw everybody coming to come and see him. And I wasn't on his floor, but I got to talk to people, and it really stuck to me that this is where I belong. Even if I'm not a doctor, I need to be doing work where I get to be around people that are disenfranchised. So, but I was actually based more with the OBGYN unit, and, getting to help to take care of small babies. I have so many memories and so many stories from there that actually continue to push me to want to do work in health. It wasn't till later on, which we'll probably get into later, that I figured where my actual role, or where the best place was going to be for me to fit to do health work. And I realized later on that it wasn't medical, that it was going to be through public health. But this was the beginning of it, just being able to see it. I don't know if nurses probably experience this, but I have experienced as a 16-year-old, 15, 16-year-old, holding a baby who was going through withdrawal from a mother who was an addict, and holding a newborn baby that's shaking in your hands, and trying to get this child to stop crying. And you also trying to feed them that that they have put some of the drugs in it so that the child doesn't die from withdrawal. It does something to you as a teenager. Seeing this, first of all, I was just like, okay, I'm not becoming nobody's teen mama. That's first things first.
Okay.
Then when you start to just see that people live lives so differently. Like, I'm coming from a middle-class home, parents who are educated, and I'm coming trying to volunteer to help. And this baby is now coming into a life where the mom was addicted her entire pregnancy. And so now this is the beginning of this child's life, and I have to be a part of it. And so that was a very strong moment for me as far as deciding where I'm going to go career-wise. And y'all see my guest, right? That I did not.
Yes, you have uninvited guests. That's fine.
Yes,
It's okay.
yes.
It's
This
okay.
is, so you see this, everybody? This is the definition of a power woman. I'm sitting here, I'm live here talking to folks, and there's a child with his underwear in the background. So, yeah.
All right. So we're going to go on a short break, and stay tuned. Don't go anywhere.
Hello, sweets.
Hi, babe. What's the matter with you? What are you looking for?
Where is she?
She what?
Where did you hide her?
I don't understand. Don't you trust me?
Where did you put the girl? Where's the lady?
I don't understand what you're saying.
I know the smell of your house. What I perceive is quite different. It's charming, it's alluring, it's sweet, it's active. Where is she?
Okay. This is she.
She?
Yes.
How? She? Feminine? Nice. Where did you get this from?
Got it from a friend.
Nice one.
Yes. You can use Feminix air freshener to get your girlfriend jealous.
Seriously?
My name is Susan Banjola Dosu, and OSBS Elite is one of the best gifts I gave myself this year as an entrepreneur. Sincerely speaking, it's a community of women who are there to support you, to encourage you, and to criticize you in a positive manner. They look into your business, tell you where you're going wrong, what you're also doing well. And that's something that every woman that is doing well in business should crave for. When I joined USBS Elite, that was this year, and I met her on Facebook. She was always supporting me, even though I was not a member of the group. She reached out to me, asking me if I needed help in my business. And as usual in a person, she went all the mile to support me, as in all the mile. Being in this group has really, really been profitable for me. I'm grateful I joined, and I've connected with a lot of amazing women doing so well who would inspire with their story, their journey, and their successes. I want to implore every woman out there to join this group. This is a group to be if you are going somewhere in life. And again, of course, with your brand. So please, I encourage you to become a part of us, grow, learn, and achieve greatness. I love you. Bye-bye.
In 2015, when I set out to help teachers, I knew I needed to move from passion to making money. And that's how my path and that of Seun Akinloto crossed. Joining the On Point Small Business Success Network, which we call OSBS, has been amazing because it's a safe space for women. Now, joining the Elite Tribe is like the icing on the cake because the business mentoring sessions, the mastermind sessions, even the prayers and the continuous support from the Elite members have helped me to focus and gain clarity. For somebody like me who's a visionary, the push I get from the Elite members have helped me become someone who also implements my ideas. I would recommend that you join the OSBS Elite Network because Seun Akinloto is a business coach that knows what she's doing. Thank you.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Seun Akinloto, and if you are just joining us, this is the Power Woman series. With me today is Dr. Temi Aregbesola, and she's here to tell us a story. Now, Dr. Temi, is Dr. Temi back?
Yes, I am.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back. You were telling us, you were just rounding up, telling us the story about how you volunteered in the hospital and how you had to carry babies that had parents who had some type of addiction. So right now, I want to move from that a little bit and ask you, what informed your career choice as a public health expert?
So again, I started off pre-med at Penn State University. And my sophomore year, I got into a program called the Minority Medical Education Program.
Okay.
And I was able to go to a neighboring medical school to shadow doctors, live in a medical school setting, take practice MCATs, things of that nature. So around week 2 or 3, I had to shadow an OB and go sit in her office and watch her do follow-up appointments.
Okay.
And she had like a clinic. And on the way to the clinic, there was an emergency clinic kind of area. And there was this man that I kept seeing every time I was going over to her for my sessions. And at that moment, I was thinking to myself, why does this man keep coming here? Like, why doesn't he have a primary care physician that he goes to? Why doesn't he have enough knowledge to not end up in the same space? I didn't see him once. I didn't see him twice. And I was there for about 6 weeks. So for me to have seen this one person so many times, there was a different question and vibe in my head now. I was thinking to myself, why is this guy always here? So I would find myself, I think the last time I went to go and shadow the doctor, everything she was saying sounded like wah, 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 because my mind was on the man outside. Why is that man still here? At the end of the program, I had an epiphany, and it was that medical health, being a medical doctor, I didn't feel like it was my actual calling. I felt I still wanted to stay in the health sector, but how was I going to do it? And I, at the time, sophomore in college, I wasn't familiar with public health and what that was. So when I knew that this is now what I wanted to do, I came home, I cried, because again, everybody knows that Temi is going to be a doctor. Realization hit that I'm about to disappoint my family, because everybody had it in their minds that this is what I was going to do. It was a little nerve-wracking, very, very nerve-wracking to now come to this place where you realize that you're not going to do what you thought you were going to do your entire life. But I was only 17, 18 then. I'm glad that I got a handle on that at that time, that made me now try to figure out, where do I fit in now in the grand scheme of things. And when I did a little bit of research, by the time I graduated undergrad, I realized that what I wanted to do was public health work. So I graduated, and I kid you not, I celebrated, yes, but I immediately started studying for the GREs, because I knew that I was going to go get my master's in public health. And so that's when I knew that public health work was the work that I was going to do. Fast forward 2 years from after I got my my MPH, my mom called and said, "Temi, I had a dream." I said, "Okay, which dream did you dream this time?"
Which one this time? What's the dream this time?
So she said, "I saw you. You were walking down an aisle. We were at graduation, and you had the robe that had the 3 velvet lines." I said, "Mama, do you know what that is?" That's PhD. I'm not. I said, "Who?" She said, "No, I saw you." I said, No. I said, "It's not me you saw. I'm not going back to any more school. You did not see me." And I kid you not, I fought it for so long. I feel like God started to show it to me, and I kept saying, "Nope, I'm not doing it." And then I sat up one morning, almost angry with God, kind of, that, would you please stop this? You know what? I'm gonna apply. If I get in, I get in. If I don't, I don't. I applied, and I got in, and then I laughed when I called my mom and told her. She laughed at me too. She said, "See, didn't I tell you?" She said, "That was you." And so, at that point, I said, "Okay, this is meant for me to do." And from there, I just figured, just like how I try to speak this into other people, whatever you're gonna do, be the best at it. Whatever you're gonna do, get all the certifications, get all the degrees, get all the letters behind your name to say that you are an expert at this. And so at that point, I realized I needed to take a page out of my own book and go for it. And here we are.
Wow. I love what you said about being the best at whatever you do. Now, I'm going to take you a little back. You said that when you found out that you wanted to go into public health, you realized that you were going to disappoint your family members. How did you break the news to them, and how did they receive it?
Again, my wonderful
full story.
Yes, my late uncle, bless his heart. Again, I talked to him so much about the plans that I had, to the point where we started playing with the thought of maybe doing something else in the medical field. Like he said, do you want to do nursing? he was a physician assistant. So he said, no, don't do that. I'm already doing that. I think it'll be better like if you tried. He said, maybe if you want to try that, but I wouldn't recommend it, maybe nursing. And, I think the conversation that we eventually had where he now said, Timmy, it's okay. You can tell your parents, as long as you know that you're going to go and do more school and do work that's within health, you just have to tell them. Let me tell you how bad it was. I was prepared to have my parents spend all this money on me going to the MCAT classes and all that and take it and not do so well or whatever, and then be like, oh, well, I tried. Looks like I can't be this medical doctor. I'll go ahead and do something else. I was honestly prepared to go full throttle with something that I knew in my heart of hearts that I didn't want to do. And again, having that support system, having someone to actually talk some sense into you to say, please don't do that. Please don't do that. That would not be a good option as far as how to go about this. So, having the conversation with my mom, and I said, I'm gonna go into public health. I had, and when I had that conversation, it was actually more so towards the end of my senior year. And, but before that, I had actually already changed my major to biology. I picked up a minor in English, and I just figured, let me just continue to keep trucking within the science major. And of course, it was a very good foundation for the rest of the work that I was going to do anyway. So, and when I told my mom, because I could tell her directly more, and then daddy kind of gets the scoop from mommy later. But
yes,
I told her, and I was crying when I said it. And I'm like, why are you crying? What are you crying for? You didn't say you're dropping out. You didn't say you're not going to do anything after this. You just said that you want to take a different route. So of course, everybody tries to convince you to still do something in medicine or something kind of medicine. But I said, you know what? Public health is going to be, I think, a really good place for me to be able to be in touch with the medical side and the social and community side, because I'm finding now being in public health for as long as I've been, the two need to be married for us to be able to be successful. So I was very relieved, very, very relieved when I knew that I was able to now move forward with what my newfound passion was, which was trying to figure out what happens with people before they get into the doctor's office. And that notion of prevention being better than cure. Sure. That was my initial fundamental understanding of what public health was. And from there, I never looked back.
Nice. Wow. It's always good to have a support system, and it's always good for us to know the one person that would always have our backs whenever we feel like we're disappointing the family or you're disappointing your friends. If there's that one person that has our backs, then we can make better decisions. So I'm glad you were able to talk to your uncle. I'm glad you were able to talk to your mom as well. So now I want to ask you another question, and this is in regards to your PhD program. I know that obtaining a PhD program as a minority, especially as a female, a Black female, African American female, did you encounter any type of racism or challenges during your program? And if yes, how were you able to overcome them?
Well, the good thing with my doctoral program was that it was online. So I can't say that I experienced any direct form of prejudice at any, during any time that I was actually in school. But I will say we did have to do something called residencies during the time period where you would meet your cohort, your classmates, your professors and advisors. And that's where you kind of get to see how people see you and what they think of you. And yes, definitely. And of people that know me, I am every bit of 5'2". My husband says I'm not, says maybe I'm 5'1.5", but I'm a very petite young lady. I look like an adult now because I have on makeup, but if I'm not made up or not done up, I literally can pass for a teenager sometimes. And being in that space where it's, you know, older folks who have been in their career for an extended period of time, and they are considered their experts within their field, are also in the, in these cohorts getting doctorate degrees. And they're looking at me like, what are you doing here? What do you have to offer? What are you bringing to the table? And when I experience things like that, I have a mouth. And when I open my mouth and speak about the things that I know about, the things that I'm passionate about, the things that I'm doing research on, they close their mouths. And then they start to take heed to what I'm saying, because you're now looking past what I look like. You're looking past my color. You're now interested in getting in here. It's no longer about this. Now it's about this. And that was the challenge for me, like literally having to fight for myself and speak up for myself at any given time. And it's easy to be in settings like that because there's so many people, all different races and creeds. But of course, they call us a minority because we kind of still are, especially when we get into spaces of higher. Yeah. So being in spaces like that, I found myself having to constantly speak up for myself. And when I'm called on, like, people, do not be shy, because what happens is that when you are called on and you don't speak up for yourself and you don't speak up for yourself, you will continue to get looked over and stuck, because they're going to figure that they already have in the back of in their minds that we are inferior. You give them the space and opportunity for them to find something to prove to you. They're going to use it and they're going to stretch it. But when this little Black girl opens her mouth to talk, then they, okay. So she knows what she's talking about. Oh, she can bring something to the table. My research that I did, there was a huge gap in the literature because nobody ever looked at, and I'm going to kind of say this just so you have context. My research was on looking at immigrant and first-generation Nigerian women and how knowledge of reproductive health affects how they see empowerment. Okay. That had never been studied. That had never been done. And so when I would mention it to people, I was able to pull up a lot of research, but based on people in Nigeria. I was able to pull up information about empowerment, but never about first-generation Nigerian women. So putting the two together and having conversation around the fact that it's actually really the same all over the world, it was never done. So when I would have, intellectual and academic conversation with people about looking at it subjectively, who is this girl and what is she talking about and how is she able to say these things? So I love shocking people. I love seeing the shocked look on somebody's face when you see me, and then I introduce myself as Dr. Temi. I love being in spaces that people respect that, because till now, like, there's some people that my credentials will be right there and then they'll just call me anyhow. And sometimes when I'm in that type of space, I correct people. I work. So yeah, there are some spaces where I do feel that it is very, very important that you speak up, because if not, you will be muted. And it will happen, and it will happen 10 times over if you do not open your mouth to speak up for yourself, so that people know that this is not like, this is a shell. This is all a shell.
It's the content that matters.
Yes. Here and here are the two things that matter, and you should never be afraid to let people know what it is that you have in here. Maybe don't give away all the goodies, but say things in a way that people know that
you know what you're doing.
You are intelligent. Yes.
And it's important that you said that we need to speak up, but I also think that it's important that when you speak up, you better know what you're saying, and you already said that. So you have to study to show yourself approved. If you
Yes.
go out there and you open your mouth, whatever is coming out of your mouth is what you've practiced behind the scenes. So
Yes.
what you do behind the scene really helps you when you go out there, and you should never be afraid to speak up. I actually read it, that really resonates with me, and I believe that everyone should be able to stand their ground, especially when you know what you're doing. And if
Yes.
you have your credentials, people should be able to respect that. I'm going to read some of the comments. Pastor Vera says, I have my mouth.
Yes.
That's
So,
powerful.
yeah.
Do not be shy. It is very, very important that you speak up. Yes. So if you have anything that Dr. Temi is saying that catches your fancy, put it in the comment box and we shall put it up on the screen. Now, Dr. Temi, let's move on. You are the host of a podcast titled The University of Real Life.
Yes.
And when I heard about it, I'm like, University of Real Life? What inspired you to start that? Tell me the story behind it.
Again, I think it's so beautiful in life when things can come out of when you feel defeated. I was actually looking and searching, and I don't know, I feel like I didn't have the best of luck trying to find positions where I could teach. And, I did feel that I had the wherewithal. I had already been working in the field, and I knew that I had what it took to actually teach. And so I had been looking for teaching positions for quite some time. And when that didn't happen, I kind of had a moment and I said, I can do my own thing. I can teach whatever it is I want to teach. I can talk about what I want to talk about. I'm going to start a podcast. And initially I was playing with the idea of calling it Real Talk, because anybody that knows me, I always say real talk when I really want to get into something specific. But somebody else already had that as a title. So I now said, okay, how can I bring this back to what it is that I really want to do? And then I said, the University of Real Life. I am a big supporter of life being the best teacher. There are things that we are not going to learn from a book. There's things that my mom cannot say to me, but I can only learn from it by experiencing it. And that was the basis for the podcast. So pretty much it is the pursuit of life and happiness and everything in between. And that is where, we have conversations around relationships, entrepreneurship, motherhood, self-care, things that's going on in the world right now, just conversations about life and things that are happening in life and things that are shaping people to be who they are through their lived experiences. So that is the basis of the University of Real Life with Dr. Temi. Oh.
I love it. And I love how you talked about you were looking for teaching positions, you wanted to be in academia, but it wasn't forthcoming. So instead of folding your arms, you decided to create your own thing.
Yeah.
So I think that's a message for someone or people out there that feel like, okay, I can't get a job. I've been searching for this type of job in this type of industry. Yes, if you are rejected, you can start your own thing. It's not the end of the world. You can still do something meaningful. You can contribute to the society. And in doing so, someone might actually identify you and say, hey, you know what, maybe you can come over. So I think that's really important. Pastor Vera says, say things to make people know that you are intelligent. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Raggy says, speaking up is very key. I agree. I can do my own thing. Amazing. Yes, you can do your own thing. Truly, you would believe in yourself. Now, Dr. Temi, you have a nonprofit. You have this podcast. You're a public health expert. You have a doctorate degree. You have a family that you're raising. How are you able to juggle all those things? Tell us about your magic wand.
It's God. It's God and wine. No, you know what? There's no easy answer. There's no direct answer. Like literally during our break, I went to go and give the kids lunch because, I had a visitor that came here. And, so, but that's life. Like really, I think the reason why I'm able to juggle things very well. I think there's a self-realization of what needs to get done. I think, and not everybody has this as a strong suit, but I'm a good time manager and I like things to be organized. So I plan things a lot. So I literally know what my kids' appointments, I have appointments scheduled for next year already because I have to stay on top of that. And then, again, having a support system, having a partner that, that understands that there's some things that I need to do at a certain time, and, communicating so that we both have an understanding of what needs to be done for the day, so that both of us can be able to do the things that we need to do without having any interruptions. And it can be very challenging because we have a 6-year-old and a 2-year-old. You guys saw the 2-year-old come down here. He's not concerned about mommy being live. He's not concerned about mommy having to work. He wants a hug. And so I have to oblige. I don't, I am in the mindset of not turning anything off. I'm not going to lie. In the evenings, I do, once they go to sleep and I close the door, I tell my husband, I am done momming. That means I am off the mom clock. I'm on the clock. Anything else? Off the mom clock.
Off the mom clock.
Yes. If any of these boys say, they call my name, mommy, daddy, it's not my problem. If you get them out of the room, he is your problem for the rest of the evening because I'm off the clock. I will pour myself a glass of wine and I'll go disappear somewhere in the house. I'm off the clock. That's it. Yep. You have to invest in your own sanity because no one else is going.
Can you say that again?
You must invest in your own sanity, whatever that means. If that means you're going to lock yourself in the bathroom and burn a candle, do it. If that means eating your favorite ice cream and not counting the calories, do it. If it means pouring yourself a glass of wine and watching a random movie and falling asleep, do it. You have to protect your sanity because your kids are not going to be able to function tomorrow if you cannot function tomorrow.
Absolutely.
And they're going to look at you funny if you can't function the next day because you didn't invest in taking care of yourself. And so
you have to take care of yourself.
You have to. And it is hard. I'm not going to sit here. I do not have all the answers. It is difficult. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, it's easy. All I have to do is schedule this and do that. And
make it sound easy.
It is not easy. I mean, but it is a constant practice, but trying to put it in practice in some way, shape, or form every day. Like this, and this doesn't mean, it doesn't need to be extensive. You don't need to plan a trip, even if it's just 10, 15 minutes where you just go and recoup and regather yourself so that you can be functional for everybody else. I mean, functional for you first, but functional enough for everybody else, because I am not my only responsibility.
Absolutely.
That ended in 2012 when I got married. I'm responsible for more than just myself. I'm responsible for part of my husband's well-being and my children's well-being. So, but there needs to be an investment in your own sanity, because life will drive you crazy. And then you're in the house with people and of course now because we are more quarantined.
Yes. Hallelujah. Well, we all understand beyond what you described. Oluwatosin Olajumoke says, invest in your own sanity. Mercy Ferreira, protect your peace. Absolutely. Yes. Ikeke Unigbe says, off the mom clock, loving yourself. Absolutely. Yes.
Clock out. Learn to clock out.
I love that. Titi Zwagis says, invest in your own sanity to maintain the sanity of others too. Absolutely. If you can't love yourself, it's very hard for you to love other people. Yeah. We're going to go on a short break now, but before we do, I wanted to announce the question for our giveaway, and you must be live to be a winner, and you must be on YouTube to have a chance to win. So the question is right there on the screen. Giveaway, when was On Point Success founded? If you are not familiar with On Point Success is a business that I founded, and it's a branding, digital marketing, and web development business that is based in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So you have 4 options on the screen. Just let me know if the answer is A, B, C, or D for a chance to win a $20 Amazon gift card. 1 entry per person. We're going on a break right now. And don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we're going to talk about the omugwo box that Dr. Temi curated after she had a second son.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, my name is Seun Akinlotan, and this is the Power Woman series. With me today is Dr. Temi Aregbesola-Okere. Dr. Temi, thank you so much for all the tips and questions you've answered so far. So I want to know a little bit about that omugwo box. So let's talk about it. What inspired you to start? You had said that after the birth of your second son, you were looking around for a self-care package for moms. So tell me about that.
Yes, so the omugwo box came from myself, just literally sitting, thinking. I will not say that I was not diagnosed with postpartum depression, but I think all new moms, we all go through the time, where we kind of, just kind of feel down and just kind of have the blues and just kind of feel like you've been putting a lot of effort into everybody and everything else and not yourself. So this might have been maybe 6 to 9 months or so postpartum of my second. And I started to look for things that cater to people that look like me, Black and brown moms from all walks of life. I was looking for something that catered to us. And to be very honest, there were a lot of wonderful companies and businesses and products, but I didn't feel that anything spoke to me directly. Like, I was thinking to myself, I'm Nigerian. Like, what if I want something that, looks like me, smells like me, something that I know that could make me nostalgic for, being home and still help with self-care. And I looked for it and I was surprised. I was actually very surprised that I did not see anything like that or find anything like that. And so I had a moment. I called my sister and I said, Bimmy, I think I'm going to do like a self-care box. And right at that moment, I said, you know what? I would call it the omugwo box. And she was like, oh, that sounds cool. I was like, yeah, because, so for those who are not familiar, I'm sure most of us do, but for those of us that are not familiar with the term omugwo, it's actually, it's a term for a practice in Nigeria for when your mother or your mother-in-law comes to stay with you to help care for the mom. Like, really just all mom is supposed to do during omugwo is to sleep,
breastfeed.
Breastfeed. Yes, sleep, nurse, and eat. Eat, so you can have energy to nurse and get your rest and recoup. While mommy or mother-in-law, they will cook all your favorite food. They will help to they'll even help to bathe you if you needed to be bathed. Taking care of the baby. So it's a wonderful time period of rest, relaxation, and bonding on levels with the baby, bonding with, your mom or your mother-in-law, whoever's there. I'm helping you to facilitate that. So I figured the idea of that mom care practice, our traditional practice, to put all of it in a box. So for those who, because, living in the United States, grandmas are not the grandmas of yesteryears. They're working. My mother, we call her grandma because she has 4 grandkids, but if you see her, she's 2.
Grandma, I love that.
She is hot to trot. So she knows that she's a grandma, but she's not your typical grandma. But it's very different now. Like, we're not living in communities where parents are, with you all the time, or they're in their own space and can easily come and be with you and all that stuff. So it's different. And in understanding that about the American culture and even the Nigerian culture in the United States, I thought it was a befitting name for it. And it also makes for a good story to explain something about a different culture that we're now injecting into self-care for women of African descent, or African American women, or people of color in general. There have not been products like this that have been curated and put together with the Black and brown moms in the thinking of putting it together. So that was the genesis of it, and I'm so excited about it because this is a subject matter that's near and dear to my heart. Anybody that knows me knows that I have been interested in maternal and child health forever. I work in an organization that also focuses on it. So it's like literally like God took everything and made everything come full circle. My passion, my career, everything just kind of came together for that one cause that I know that it's a very valid cause to fight for. Right.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I've been privileged to see the content of the box. We might not be able to show it online right now, but if you're interested in getting Omugwo box, where do they get it from, Dr. Temi?
www.theomugwobox.com. We'll put it in the comment section so that folks will be able to access it. And also to learn more about omugwo itself, I do have somewhere on the website where I do explain it more in detail, so that I want for it to be a self-care and learning process. Right? Very honest. Most of the customers have not been Nigerian.
I know. I wanted to ask you about that. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, and it's been an awesome experience to see that people have taken onto it and have not bought into it, but are interested. And it's been a wonderful thing to see.
Yes, it's absolutely always that way. So when you have something, people outside your community or your immediate community generally tend to appreciate that thing better. So you know how they say a prophet has no honor in his town. So I'm not really surprised when you mentioned that. For those of you that are yet to take part in the giveaway, we're going to put up the question again because we are almost at the end of this session. And the question is, when was On Point Success founded? A, B, or C? January 2014, June 2015, June 2014, or January 2015. If you get the answer right, you have a chance to win a $20 Amazon gift card, and we shall be announcing the winner very soon. Now, Dr. Temi, I actually have to speed up because time is not our friend right now, and I wish we could go on and on and on and on, but time is not on our side. So I know that you're very passionate about public health, and I also know you're passionate about maternal health and childcare. If you were to be nominated for the position of the United States Department of Health, will you take it? And if yes, what will be your top 3 priorities if you get that position?
So if my husband were here, he would lean in and say, heck yes. Yes, I would gladly take it. And honestly, I would focus on maternal and child health, mental health, and maternal and child health, mental health, and actually like youth services. Like those would be the 3. Maternal and child health, they usually get lumped in together, but more so maternal health, maternal mortality, like that would be the first one. Mental health, because listen, People are running around here right now, hurt and damaged, and not taking account of the things that affect people's minds because it eventually manifests itself physically and into their behaviors. We are not taking account of people's mental health and mental well-being because it feeds into a lot of different things. We ignore it a lot. And then youth and child health, because they are the future. I'm in health, to be very honest, because of my kids. I knew that I wanted to be a part of creating a world that is going to be safe for them to live in, safe for them to function in, safe for them to have healthy lives and lifestyles in. So I think we also need to invest in our children's health and have children and child health programs in place as well. So it would be those three, definitely.
Absolutely. So there's this question that I meant to ask you, and it's about how do you help women to live purposefully beyond being a mother, to live a life of purpose? So this question, I give you 30 seconds to answer. We're running out of time.
Okay. So how can
women live a life of purpose beyond being a mother? So you know how a lot of women just kind of like abandon themselves, they forget themselves, and then put all the attention on their children, saying that whatever I can't become, my children will become. So I want you to give me 30 seconds of that.
Okay. I will say this. Focus on yourself. Again, that whole thing with investing in your sanity. When you take time out, after you have clocked out of being a mom, listen to yourself. You are thinking, you're always thinking, your heart is always beating, your mind is always moving. Listen to it, because whatever it is that your mind is telling you in that quiet time, in those quiet times where you find time to meditate or you find time to just sit and think, that's it. That thing that continues to nag you in the silence of the day and the night, that is it. Listen to it, put energy into it, and start working on it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We're out of time, and I want to make sure that I announce the winner of the giveaway. We actually have a winner, and that is Miss Niger. I don't know who that person is. Just tell us your name. Miss Niger says January 2014, blog created, June 2014. Oh my God, this person went on the website. All right, that's our winner right there. On Point Success was founded January 2014. Absolutely correct, Miss Niger. Just get in touch with me. And then Dr. Temi, in 10 seconds, what else would you like to say? 10 seconds.
Wow. Please take your time to visit www.iamdrtemi.com, all one word. You can learn more about me. Please check out, there, I also give you information about the omugwo box, everything that encompasses what Dr. Temi is about. And please just continue to take care of yourself. Love on yourself. Take care of yourself. You are first. After God, you are first.
Thank you so much, Dr. Temi. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Until next time, be exceptional, be intentional, and be on point. Bye.